The room's tension increased, creating a silent storm that was about to blow up in the realm of hip-hop and love, and the lights flickered. There has always been a hint of drama in Atlanta, where relationships are as erratic as they are intense, but tonight was different. Scrappy and Erica Dixon's relationship had always been a roller coaster of complexity. And now the mayhem that had been building for weeks, maybe even years, was about to explode. Of love, betrayal, and unresolved conflict after their divorce and the birth of their daughter. Their relationship had been tense at best, with frequent flare-ups and old wounds that never fully healed. However, it wasn't just their relationship that was broken. What really set the fuse in motion was the relationship between Scrappy's mother, Momma Dee, and Erica. For as long as anyone could remember, Erica and Momma Dee had never gotten along, and Momma Dee was a proud, larger. The life personality had never been afraid to voice her thoughts on Erica's decisions, particularly about her son Lil Scrappy. She frequently and openly criticized Erica in ways that caused more damage than anybody could see. That night, at a party hosted by one of the city's most powerful promoters, Erica, who was fiercely independent and protective of her family, had always resisted, but it had never been sufficient to get Momma Dee's approval. Felt as though all of the unresolved tension had finally reached its breaking point. The air was alive with music and laughter. But for Momma Dee, Erica Scrappy, and Momma Dee, the gathering was just another battlefield. They had avoided one another for the majority of the evening, but fate had a way of bringing them together when they least expected it. Wearing a sleek black dress, Erica made every effort to enjoy the evening, but her gaze kept wandering around the room. Returning to Scrappy, the tension between them was evident in every look, word, and action that was laced with unsaid animosity. Of course, Momma Dee was also present, making her presence known with her distinctive bigger-than-life personality. The first sparks flew as Momma Dee, who never holds back, came up to Erica in an almost vacant part of the venue. Her voice, as loud and brazen as ever, broke through the music, making you think you could simply come around here. Momma Dee's remarks were like, "Dagger, you're nothing but a baby mama, and she wasn't even with my son anymore." Erica was already tense from the frequent passive-aggressive behavior. Jabs sensed her inner fire beginning to burn. Erica's tone was cold and calculating, saying, "Momma Dee, you don't know anything about me or my life. If you stop trying to control everything, perhaps you'd realize that I'm attempting to be a good mother to our whatever you believe, daughter." The venom in her remarks was enough to make Momma Dee go crazy. "You think you're better than me and boss my son, but you're just trouble." A flurry of words and loud voices rapidly intensified the argument. The audience started to realize that the two women were engaged in a full-fledged yelling war, although it was obvious that Erica and Momma Dee's hostility had attained a boiling point. In Erica, Momma Dee, "Please don't meddle in my affairs. She is already exhausted from months of enduring Scrappy's mother's meddling." Erica shouted, her eyes blazing with rage, "You're not going to tell me how to live my life anymore, Momma Dee." Momma Dee came forward, chest out, ready for combat. "You can't handle me, girl. You think you're grown, but you're still just a little girl playing house." That's when Lil Scrappy appeared into the picture in an attempt to defuse the situation, but the storm had already built up, and he could feel the tension and heat between the two women he loved, but could never seem to please rising. He had attempted mediation before, but this time it had gone too far. Scrappy yelled in a commanding voice, but exhausted Erica said, "This isn't the place for this. Y'all got to stop." But neither woman listened, and Farrell turned to leave because she needed space. Needing to leave the poisonous environment that was choking her, but she had to do so before she could out of sheer annoyance. Scrappy reached out and took her arm, yanking her back to him. "You're not going anywhere," he said. "You have a lot of nerve to act as though you can just leave this situation whenever it becomes difficult." Scrappy hissed, his eyes crazed. Erica's heart was racing. "He released me after I twisted out of his grasp." In a moment, "Scrappy, this is your mess, not mine." Scrappy, his rage out of control, slapped Erica hard across the face. The sound of the slap sent shockwaves of amazement and quiet through the room, and Erica staggered back, raising her hand reflexively to her cheek. The slap hurt more than physically, it cut to the core of anything they had shared. The room fell silent, and all eyes were on the three of them. Now, Erica's face was red from the slap, and they... Her voice was shaky, but resolute, cut through the tension like a knife. "You've really lost it now, Scrappy. You've crossed the line." Scrappy stood frozen, his own eyes wide with shock. He hadn't meant to hit her in that way, but the anger had taken over him at that moment, and he felt the regret and weight of his actions. Coming crashing down almost instantly, "Erica," he mumbled. "I didn't mean for it to go like this." His voice was hardly audible beyond a whisper, but Erica was already. She moved away from him, sobbing. "I can't do this anymore, Scrappy," she said, her eyes welling. "I'm done letting you or your mother rule me." Scrappy stood there feeling numb with regret as Erica turned and bounded out. When Momma Dee saw her face, she was both satisfied and shocked that she had achieved her goal. Finally, Erica had left, but at what price was Scrappy left standing by himself in? The full force of his actions hit him in the middle of the room, and his gaze followed Erica as she vanished into the night. But it was too late. The damage had already been done, and the fallout from that night would reverberate for weeks. The connection between Scrappy and Erica was irrevocably altered, and their gap only widened. Even though Momma Dee has always been on Scrappy's side, she was unable to deny that something valuable had been lost. Crossed the line, and in the process, he had destroyed what little of his family was left. The night had begun like any other, full of possibilities and promises, but by the end it had left nothing but broken relationships and broken hearts. It was a painful reminder that sometimes even love can't keep yourself from losing control when